Evening tubers, KingGrimlock back once again for another Grimgram, and first off, as ever, a little bit of housekeeping. This will be a continuation of my countdown to AA viewers request session. I got it right, blimey. Not quickly, but I got it right. And this will be for Zizzler Rizzle 8707 once again. There we go. I think he's requested about 8 or 9 reviews in all, so get used to having that link put up. And it is Alternators Windcharger. Always a funny name. Now, this guy was released in Japan first as Overdrive, one of the Omnibots, but he got changed to Windcharger in the US and therefore in the UK, even though I don't even think he ever got a proper UK release. He's based on the Honda S2000. Well, he is the Honda S2000. Soft top edition, as you can tell from this lovely soft top. And as far as the alternators go, this is pretty much at the bottom of my list, this mould. I really don't care for it too much. I don't think it makes... I think it makes a beautiful car. I love the car. I adore the car. But I think it makes a very poor toy. Let's have a quick look over it, shall we? Typical alternators detailing, lots of beautiful plastic, different coloured lights picked out with paint. All the Cybertronian radial tyres, they all have them. It's quite nice. You know, indicators, paint detail. Haven't picked out the handles or any of the detail around the handles. I thought they might have picked something out around there, but they didn't, which is a slight shame. And then all the radiators picked out. Little Honda badge on there as well. Around the back we have his comedy Windcharger number plate. Again, all the lights picked out with paint, all the details, chromed up exhausts as well. We can pop the boot open, kind of, and yep, show you so much in there. And the bonnet comes up and it exposes engine. I'd like to point out this is obviously his weapon. In the Japanese release, this weapon is a 3-part piece. It goes down, and then it comes out the bottom there, and there is a shaft that goes down the middle, like a drive shaft. You can see there's actually the grip there for it. For some reason in the US they cut it. They just had it as just a flat weapon. Made no sense whatsoever. The barrel went basically, so it was just a, I don't know, it's not even a weapon, it's terrible. And then we'll have a look at the inside of the car. Soft top comes off without a problem at all. I can go over there. That is another weapon. Well, it's a shield. It's kind of embarrassing. And then on the inside of the car we have the same sort of detailing. We have the steering wheel, which actually turns, handbrakes, gear knob thingy, seats all detailed, aerial, and as with all of the alternators, the front wheels actually turn together. Well, most of the alternators anyway. It's quite a nice little touch. Simple little thing. Highly detailed, as all the alternator line is on the car mode. There is very little wrong with him in the car mode, other than maybe a few little paint apps could have been picked out. One thing they have, same as they did with Hound, which I reviewed last, the panel markings, they've as much as possible kept the panel markings to where the car would have panel markings anyway. You know, obviously a door. But the areas down here is very subtle panel markings. They've tried their very, very best to keep the car from being broken up too much. I mean, obviously you can see little ones here and there, but they've done a really good job in making it look the part. Again, tinted mirrors, no rear view mirror, and the sun visors haven't been picked out in paint. Never noticed that before. That's slightly disappointing. But realistically, a huge effort on the vehicle mode. It looks fantastic. It looks stunning. It looks like an S2000. You know, it's going to look stunning. But let's have a look at Windcharger's robot mode. And so we have Windcharger in his robot mode, and I'm not too fond of this mode at all. I'm not too fond of this robot. It's aesthetically not pleasing for me. Weapons straight off the bat, that's useless. It doesn't do anything, so we'll get rid of that because it looks like rubbish. He uses his soft top as a shield because that's going to block anything. Get rid of that. That's rubbish. But then you've got the overall aesthetics, and it's not horrific. I mean, there are worse Transformers out there, but you know what? It's not great, is it? It's a bit too thin. It's a bit too narrow. There isn't too much going on. Some of the design choices are suspect at best. Oh, stands upright, which is a nice change. He's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. He's not bad. But, I mean, it reminds me a bit of Point Blank with the way they stick out. But anyway. It has issues. It has very big issues. Again, we have all this wonderful sculpted detail, great head mould, Really characterful head mould. Good articulation through the arms. The shoulders are just a bit meh, and you can't really tuck them in anyway. There isn't anything you can really do with the arms. It's a bit of a disappointment, really. And then we get to the knee problem, which, you know, he has a knee, but because of this sideways joint, it doesn't really want to do anything. And that sideways joint is a lot of the problem. It's part of the transformation, and it just means you can very rarely get him to actually do anything you want him to do. Go on, stand up, you prick. It's not terrible by any means, but as far as the alternators go, he's probably one of the weakest in my eyes. He's even, in my eyes, he's worse than the Prime mould. Round the back, we are pretty kibble-free, actually. This area, while is obviously car kibble, sort of covers up the back. It does fit in the robot nicely, but it just goes to show just how narrow he is. I mean, look how narrow those shoulders are, and those arms. They're barely an arm width wide. He's just seemed very... no bulk to him. I know he's a soft top and he's a little sports car, but I just feel if these panels maybe had folded away, they'd have come around and snapped around the back somehow, and the arms had come forward from there. Maybe they'd not had as much width and had just had, you know, yeah, get rid of the width of the shoulders and just had the arms sort of tucked in the side a bit more. It would have just added something to it, because this width is really detrimental to the overall aesthetic of it because he isn't that big. Or if the width had been higher maybe and the arms had come down, or maybe it's just his arms are too wide out from his body. I don't know. There's just something about it I don't really like. The detail is superb. It's phenomenally well done. I mean, rubber tyres, sculpted detail in all the shocks and all the detailing on the inside. Not as good detail on the inside as Hound at all. But this mould came later in the series. Thank you. Yeah, so I mean that's my take on Alternators Windcharger. He's definitely, if you're looking to start an Alternators collection, he's not the place to start. Which is one of the reasons why you can pick him up so cheap on eBay at the moment. In all, probably one of the weaker alternators. I still like it because it's an alternator, but I couldn't recommend it to a casual collector.